let me first say what a pleasure it is to be back in Santiago. And to Foreign Minister Urrejola, Antonia, thank you so much for this morning, for the very good conversations that we had. I'm grateful to President Boric for his time and for the quality of the exchange that we had, and just so thankful for the warm welcome that we received from our friends and partners here in Chile. I also want to acknowledge Ambassador Meehan. You have no idea how pleased I am to be able to say Ambassador Meehan. But it is really thrilling to see you here in this new role. And as the President knows, as the Foreign Minister knows, there's no stronger partner than Ambassador Meehan. We have a relationship that has been bound together fundamentally by shared interests and shared values. And next year, indeed, we'll celebrate 200 years of partnership. That partnership spans things that matter most to our people, from economic and security issues, where we've longstanding ties, to new areas of cooperation on climate, on energy, on health, even outer space. And as I said, this relationship is based first and foremost on deeply shared values, a commitment to standing up for democracy and human rights in our own countries, in this region, and indeed around the world. We see the strength and vibrancy of Chile's democracy in the peaceful, inclusive process the country is engaged in with regard to charting a new constitution. We see it in Chile's leadership in regional organizations dedicated to promoting democracy and advancing human rights, such as co-chairing the OAS Working Group on Nicaragua and the recent presidency of the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. We see it in the position that this government has taken on holding countries, left, right, liberal, conservative, to the same standards on human rights and democracy. There should be no ideological blocks when it comes to defending the principles that we've all agreed to in the UN and its charter, at the OAS, in the Inter-American Democratic Charter. That's why we call them universal rights, and we have to stand up wherever they're being threatened. We're also grateful for Chile's clear voice in regional and multilateral organizations like the OAS, where we'll be going tomorrow, and the United Nations, where, among other things, it has consistently condemned Russia's unjustified war of aggression against Ukraine. We're growing our economic ties. Since Chile and the United States signed our free trade agreement in 2003, trade between our countries has more than quadrupled, reaching more than $38 billion last year, supporting tens of thousands of jobs in both of our countries. The United States is Chile's top source of foreign direct investment, investing more than $25 billion in high growth areas like Chile's renewable energy sector. And we intend to build on those ties, something we talked about today. Just to cite an example, the United States has invested $760 million and provided technical assistance across 5 solar power projects in Chile, several of which are already powering homes and businesses across the country. Chile's renewable energy sector already provides 45% of the country's electricity supply and is helping further Chile's ambitious clean energy goals, including carbon neutrality by 2050, something else that we talked about today, especially as we head to COP27 together in a little over a month's time. Although Chile's economy has grown over the years, so too has inequity here in Chile, but also more broadly across our own hemisphere. That was worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic, the climate crisis, rising energy and food costs, which has been exacerbated again by the Russian aggression in Ukraine. But what we see across the board in all of these areas is that those hardest hit are ones who can least afford it. Under President Biden, the United States is committed to partnering with Chile and other countries in the region to deliver solutions to the challenges that are directly impacting the lives of our people. It's a fundamental part of demonstrating that democracies like ours can deliver concrete results for our people, address their needs, and advance their aspirations. That's one of the reasons that we launched the Americas Partnership for Economic Prosperity. We did this at the Summit of the Americas a few months ago. It's focused on laying the foundation for economic growth from the bottom up and the middle out by expanding digital connectivity, making our supply chains more resilient, including here in the hemisphere, creating clean energy jobs as we decarbonize, and getting regional economic institutions to mobilize more investment in credit, including in middle-income countries. We're looking forward to working with Chile on this initiative. We're also expanding support for those across the region who don't have access to essential services like health, like education. That's the idea behind our commitment to work with partners to train and equip 500,000 local healthcare workers across the hemisphere in 5 years. This initiative, if fully realized, will make a profound practical difference in the lives of millions of people across our hemisphere. We discussed as well our growing collaboration on migration, and I expressed my appreciation for Chile's leadership on this issue, including by hosting roughly 500,000 Venezuelan migrants and refugees and 180,000 Haitians. At the Summit of the Americas in June, Chile joined 21 other countries in the hemisphere in supporting the Los Angeles Declaration. This declaration is an important moment because it recognizes our shared responsibility in meeting the migration challenge and goes about it in a way that increases stability, safe and orderly migration, and supports communities that host migrants while holding criminals and human traffickers accountable. But for all the ties between our nations that we discussed today, and we covered many of them, and indeed we probably ran out of time, we could have discussed another dozen topics. For all of the ties that we talked about today, perhaps none are as deep as the ties between our people. A little bit later today, I'll meet with alumni of the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative. That's an exchange program that has brought together over 1,000 young entrepreneurs and business and social leaders across our hemisphere. Ultimately, it's ties like these, especially ties that bind the rising generation of Chileans and Americans, that give me the most hope for the future of our relationship and our democracies. And they're yet another reason we're committed to continuing to strengthen the partnership between our governments. So again, Antonio, Foreign Minister, thank you very much. Very good to be here today with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.